Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Ruthie, Love Mother, Augusta Fisher Smallshaw's Letters to Her Daughter, 1945, Part 1. This was originally published as Smallshaw Family Memories Collection, or SFMC number 103, published on November 21st, 2004. We've heard from the daughter, Ruth. Now we'll hear the letters from her mother, from Augusta to Ruth. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, May 18th, 1945. Dearest Ruth, it was lovely to get your nice long letter, and the cards are really lovely. We had our banquet last evening, and all the ladies seemed to think their place cards just okay, and took them home to keep for souvenirs. The turkey was simply scrumptious. We played bridge after, and I got a score of 68.80, which was high, and we are sending $10 to the milk fund, so not too selfish. I would like you to thank JSM for us all. Mrs. Jelly says she is taking hers to England with her. She is strong conservative, you know, and they are going back to England to live when Mr. Jelly gets super. I am so sorry, dear, that you have so much to do in just 1 month. Wish so much I could help you. Try and not get too worried about all the jobs, but make a list and do the most important first. Of course, I know it is not that easy. I do so hope you don't get sick and are not able to take the trip. Too bad the rings won't be ready, but not your fault. Glad you got a raise, but does not seem fair. However, your trip makes up for quite a bit. Then Marion will be staying on now. She deserved a good raise, so do you with all that extra work. The 14th of June will come so quickly, and I do hope you go through Regina. Connie phoned me the other day to say that they have luggage in R.H. Shore. Can you get any in Stoon? They have black, brown, and bluish gray in the large and small. Yes, but Bud got the light up in the veranda and that one in the kitchen. Also put the mirror up over the buffet. I got some hooks to put on the picture molding. I ordered a dinner suite from RH and tried to get the blinds there, but they are all booked up. I also phoned the lady to get the sewing machine. I can ask $30 for it according to the WGP board. Did you know you forgot your pajamas? I will send them. Want to catch the post, so must soon. I love you, and do take care of yourself. Yes, the postage was okay on your letter. Love, Mother. Augusta Fisher Smallshaw. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, June 27th, 1945. My darling Ruth, just received your lovely airmail letter of June 25th, with snap of you and your children enclosed. Yes, I think it lovely of you all. You look like Queen of the Fairies. So glad, honey, that you are enjoying just so much, and hope you continue to do so right up to the last day. There are so many lovely things in this world that God made that so many of us have not seen, but hope that the airplanes will help in that respect. I feel that we all have missed so much. Yes, sweet, the election went over big in Saskatchewan for the CCF, and Mr. Proby went over big for Regina. In the poll that I scouted in, he got 8. The next Liberal, 44, the next Conservative, 42, and the fourth party, 4. So you see our Johnny Proby did well I've been his private secretary all week answering his letters of congratulations. Mr. I. Proby in the Federal House. He got so many letters, some from his old school teachers, and lots from kids he has taught, and are men and women now. Some are overseas. Real interesting. No word from Bud. He left Saturday morning to hitchhike to Regina Beach, and not a word from him since. I hope he's all right. It was very hot here yesterday. Excuse me. But rained quite heavy today, which pleased Pop for the garden. Too bad you're in the doghouse with the girls, but I'm sure they will forgive you. Lovely to get such a long letter from Marion. Do you think you will visit her in August? Don't judge all American boys by that one. They, like ours, are all different. My dear, don't you remember Uncle Alf travels all over the United States as an Army and Navy photographer? I could give you his address if you would like. I should write to him, as he may be near your part of the U.S. Oh, I remember. He is at Wingfield, Kansas. Oh, yes. Bud took the camera and some films with him. There is a film here. Not sure if it is filled or not. I asked him about it and he said, "Leave it to me." Meanie, I would like to know what it is. Yes, I sent Mrs. Parrott a card. You know that sympathy one with the lovely verse, "She is not dead, she is just away." I think it was composed by James Whitcomb Riley. I just love it. She sent me a card I will enclose. I also sent Lottie a pair of silk stockings and got a nice letter from her that I will also enclose. I do love you and do take care of Ruthie for me. We will have a big gab fest when you come home and fly to Washington next summer. Pop has not his holidays yet, and now another man has gone sick, so maybe I'd better make some plans of my own. I love you, Mother. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, July 11th, 1945. My dearest Ruth, I am enclosing a very disappointing film. It really was too dark to take pictures. Hope you don't care too much. We will take some more when you come back, I hope. Am enclosing a letter that came yesterday from England. I gather it is from Frank, right? Yes, I like your notepaper. Are you supplied with it or buy it? Mrs. Jelly and Merle came and took me for a lovely long car ride last evening. There is a circus on in Broad Street Park. We went by there. Bud was there with Don Pitty and Davis. Merle takes her holiday starting today and taking a bunch of convalescent boys on a picnic in an army jeep, other Red Cross drivers. They have a nice day for it. Bud and Howard Rilke took a real good snap of each other in the house. I will send you a copy of one. Got a nice letter from Auntie Lenny this morning, and she is looking for you to visit her. Hope you make it. That really is a lovely spot, and I'm sure you will love it. You tell Marion for me that I think she really is a meanie to her mother. Not until she is a mother will she realize what her mother has done for her, and history can repeat itself. Oh well, she is liable to be sorry someday, and the poor kid can't help being in love with Roger. For her sake, I hope it turns out all right. Mrs. Newman just phoned me and wants to know how often the census of a country is taken. I thought every 5 years. Pop says every 10 years. Do you still like your black dress with the lace trimming? I think I will like it. Glad you had a nice trip to Ann Arbor, and you must tell me all about Battle Creek. Poor Bud loves to read your letters, and I can see him trying to suppress some jealousy. He would love to travel, and I think he will someday. This is just between you and I. I thought I detected on his expression and in his manner after reading your letters, so I asked him, and he said yes. Hi, honey. How do you spell conscience and conscientious? I put an S in and you did not. Is that just American or? No offense, but look them up? No, you did not tell me you heard from Marshall. Where is he now? I saw Alice downtown, and she doesn't think that Marshall should have to go to the Pacific now that he is an only child. She thinks that he should be allowed to go home. Governments just don't care that much so long as they want men. Fact, eh? Ruth Nilsson is yet in Vancouver. Was talking to Mrs. Nilsson after the morning service. Ruth thinks the beaches in Vancouver very dirty, but went on a car trip with Herbert's folks to Washington and just loves the U.S. She has all her stuff, bedding, presents, etc., stowed in Claire's home, Alberta. Herbert is ground crew out of Vancouver. Ruth is staying with his mother. Bud is decorating the bathroom for me. Sweet kid, eh? He got a letter this morning from the X board asking him to work for them again this year. July 30th to August 4th in the exhibition. Pop has put in for his holidays that week and will play for them if they ask him to. Hope he makes it, if that is what he wants. I love to get your sweet letters and swallow all the lovely things you say to me, and would like to meet Mrs. Naylor. What are her children doing, and husband? Bud and I got up at 5 o'clock a.m. to see the eclipse, and a big cloud came along at the crucial time and spoiled it all. I love you and take care of yourself. A hug and kiss from Mother, honey. I love you, Mom. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, July 4th, 1945. Hi, honey. Looked for a letter from you today, also yesterday, but I'm sure you are busy. Today is the big day for the United States. Usually quite a few lives lost. Bud got his certificate and passed into grade 11. Georgie Martin got his and another class pin. I sure wish Bud would try for a class pin. Will not write much this time as I'm feeling quite despondent. Just a number of things. I love you. Am enclosing a few letters I thought would interest you. Bud, a cute letter from the beach and a card. Pretty good photo of Mr. Proby and a clipping about Miss Benny. Bud says hi, going to write to you. He is out playing ball right now and Pop just gone to work and bearish, you know. Look after yourself and drop me a line. Love, Mom S. P.S. Got a nice letter from Norma and one from Celia yesterday. Oh yes, and one from Mrs. Yoke. Love, Mom. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, July 5th, 1945. My dearest Ruth, it was lovely to get your swell letter this afternoon and to know that the United States are yet the big thrill. Do try to enjoy it to the full and make the most of every day, as school from September to June is bound to be quite monotonous, yet necessary. Oh, before I forget, Marvel Lanson went to Norma with you, phoned up the other day to talk to you. I told her where you were, etc., etc. She said that she was thinking of taking a summer course, but had not made up her mind yet. I told her you would be home in August. Also that you may visit a few days the first part of August in Winnipeg. I played bridge at Mrs. Jelly's the other evening, and Mrs. Wanning was there, not Winner. They lived in Hartwell's house. She was asking about you, and of course I was telling her some of the extracts from your letter. It was all very familiar to her as she was born and raised in Sarnia, Ontario, which is so close to Detroit, and feels the same way about the colored people. She went to the coast yesterday for 10 days. Her husband is a CNP conductor, so makes quite big money. She has a daughter at the coast and one at home. Yes, I will write to Uncle Alf. His address is Box 3, Winfield, Kansas, USA, Mr. A. M. Fisher. You write to him also, eh? I will write more later as have to go out now for eats. So glad you are making some acquaintances, but do be careful. I know that you are, and have a good time. Bud has promised me he will write to you. He has the film down now, getting it developed, and will enclose them in my next letter. Hope they are okay. What do you think of the golden wedding photos? Very good for inside, I thought. I love you, and write again soon. Mother. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, July 16th, 1945. My darling Ruth, just got your postcard this afternoon, and now am looking for the parcel. Got your lovely letter the other day, and am I ever thrilled for you about the offer of the position down. I asked Pop and Bud for their opinion, and Pop says, and they are all different, Pop does not think you should accept, and says you would not be any better off in the United States, as the cost of living is so much higher. Bud thinks you should come back to Saskatoon until Christmas anyway. He thinks you will owe that to the Department of Education. I think you should come back until next June. You will then still only be 21, and you will feel that you have fulfilled completely your obligation to the department. You will feel better about it, and then can always accept a position down there or any other place. Now you think about it. I'm sure you have. Of course you know the circumstances better than I, but that is the way it looks to me. I hate the idea of you working so far from home, but that is one of my penalties for having such a clever and smart daughter. I am very proud of you, honey, and so is Bud. I am sure Pop is, but of course would not admit it. Yes, the U.S. really has much more attraction for the clever and talented people than Canada, both in money, climate, and scenery. Of course, there is some wonderful scenery right here in Canada, but needs a lot of developing. Pop says your head is in the clouds and to come down to earth, but I think it is just lovely to be in the clouds for a change. I do so hope you decide on the right thing to do. Pop sent his Pop $5 for Father's Day, and this is the letter in reply. Thought you might like to read it. That was sweet of Dorothy to drive you out to the Irish hills, and glad you enjoyed it on the trip. I would love to be with you now on some of those trips. Have just reread your last letter and feel that it is a lovely offer of the supervising teacher, and really a great honor, but I still think that you should come back to Saskatoon for another year and keep in good with the Saskatchewan government. You said you got a letter from Marshall? Now what kind of a letter is that? Do you really like the Marine? What is his name? Yes, I expect you're getting some tan and freckles. Do protect your face. It is hard to wear a hat and ride a bicycle. Did you like the frog's legs? I'm so glad you are seeing a few things and going places. Try to go to Church of England once a week. Keep right with God. It is more important than anything else. I know you will and always be a good influence. Bud is painting out the sunroom and it looks nice. He has finished the bathroom and he did it in ceiling and top walls white, tulip red strip around and green tiles at the bottom. The sunroom is cream. I want him to do the kitchen in black and white. Would you look around for a little pair of cottage curtains in black and white for the kitchen and a pair for the bathroom? I will reimburse you for them. Of course, if you find you are short of time to shop, don't bother. Pop said he could get $60 per week in Chicago as a printer. I said, well, what is stopping you from getting it? We are not tied here. I would love to live in the U.S. for a change. Time will tell, eh? Now, my sweet, look after yourself and write to me soon. Glad you liked Windsor. I imagine it is quite American. Pop is watering the garden and Bud is painting. I love you and enjoy your letters. Hope you get to see Christina, Ken, and David. Love, Mother. 1251 Argyle Street, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, July 18th, 1945. My darling Ruth, just received your lovely parcel yesterday and airmail letter this afternoon, and just had time to read it before my ladies arrived. Bud and I have been painting and fixing up like fiends. Bud has gone to a show this afternoon and really thought the house looked nice before he left. I got a nice piece of margasith for the front door and 2 pairs of nice cranes for the front room or sunroom curtains. The ladies just raved and raved while they were here anyway. I invited Mrs. Nilsson, Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Goddard, Mrs. Steele, and Mrs. Eigart. I owed them all an afternoon. Mr. Martin got his holidays starting from today and got a chance of a ride to the beach, so she did not come, but all the rest did, and I felt it was really successful. Now about the parcel. I was ever so thrilled to think you thought of me, my darling. The chocolates are delicious. I love them and treated Bud to one. Pop said, "What is in the little box inside the big one?" I said, "Oh, something for me." He is an awful chocolate face. I'm afraid to give him one for fear he pesters me while he gets them all, so we'll give him the last one. Good idea?" I was so thrilled with the little lace set. I put it on our dresser, and it looks lovely. The Madania was getting soiled, and I forgot to wash it on Monday, so it was a happy thought for me. Bud painted the sunroom 3 coats of feet, while on the ceiling, and it looks lovely. How did the doors and windows and window frames in ivory and such an improvement? I hope you can get me 2 cute pictures to take the place of those 2 that Miriam painted for you. I like round frames, don't you? I think they are newer. Bud tells me that Regina plate glass have nice blue and orange mirrors and wants me to go and look at them. Do you think that would look nice? He thought it rather expensive looking, the one he saw. Mrs. Nilsson acted a bit jealous and told me I needed a new dining room suite and that she would give me hers. I told her that I knew that I needed a new suite, but when I got one I wanted the latest style dining room table, which was a Duncan type. The legs come from the center. Bud thinks I should wait for a while, as now they are making the drawers of beaver board. Did I tell you that Bud did the bathroom in flat white, green tiles with a tulip red strip? It looks quite colorful and smart. Mrs. Steele thought it also nice and asked me if Harry could come over and see the house. I know it could look lots nicer, and it will, when you get home and we can buy a few things. I got a new rug, but we did not like it and sent it back. So sorry you were feeling a little homesick, honey. Wish I could put my arms around you right now and give you a big kiss. Okay now, sweet? I really am flattered too, you know. I hate to think of you taking a position so far away from home, if you got sick or I. Hi, honey, here I am back again. Papa woke and Bud came home from the show. He went to the Cap to see a new picture of Abbott and Costello. Costello said it was good. Pop has just gone to work, and the news is on all about the awful ammunition dump explosion in Halifax. Poor Halifax. I wanted to get this letter away before 9 so that it would go on that early morning train to Winnipeg and on to you. Now I have missed it. Bud has gone out with Don, or I would get him to take it down on his bicycle and send it airmail. We got a nice letter from Christina, and Pop had time the other day to write her one on the machine. Hope you have a nice visit with her. I love you, and take care of Ruthie for Mother. I love you, Mom. Poor crabby Marshall A. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.